Poetry is not an imperative. Nobody tries forcing a poem onto you. And probably that's why we gravitate towards it in times when we need comfort or understanding. It's a friend lying in wait for us with infinite patience. This is Sunil Bhandare and you are listening to Uncut Poetry. The grace that we give. I have always seen you as a river, my unending source of feeling, flowing with me to my accidental destinations. I am the one for picking random acorns from your banks which lie destined for discard. You stop and smile as you were always one to give attention. I am just glad to have your gladness to walk with. You tell me to pay attention to what's damaged, make a tapestry of the bruises. Remember, give shelter, as if attention to the unspoken was by itself a benediction, a tenderness. The sky today bends closer to the banks, and the birds are hoarse with their call. I now know there's a cycle of grace each one of us can start. Something with an endless possibility of good, starting from nothing, but encompassing the world such that it ends exactly where it starts. As I see your waters now glisten and know that everything you gave was given back to you. As I see your waters now glisten and know that everything you gave was given back to you. Karma is destiny's calling. The smiles and bruises we give troop back to us in, as the famous Gladiator once said, this birth or the next. The things we twist, the generosities we quietly lay out like sunlight, the hypocrisies we ooze in our sanctimonious smiles. We might not get our just deserts in this birth, but we are definitely found out and scorned for what we really are. The belief has, I must confess, given me satisfaction whenever I have encountered the worst of humanity and not been able to do much about it. But much more than the illusory future retribution, I have seen life come by with its lessons and lesions in ways too subtle, too meaningful to brush away. A rampaging, mean-lying boss who gets a son who steadily gets to become the same. The deep conjugal misery of an acquaintance who only has a warped opinion of everyone. A serial adulterer who has health problems galore. I see cause and effect everywhere. Friends say I'm giving logic the widest canvas possible, and life anyway has these instances of good and bad fortune, heartache and woe in the normal course of life. Of course it does. But grant me my satisfaction. But the greater imperative is the multiplier effect of all that we do. The universe we inhabit is far more sensitive and absorbing of what we say and do. We don't always realize it, but our nature is also prone to go viral. Things we say, things we do, and not only when there is extreme good or extreme vileness. And simply by being ourselves, we affect people around us who in turn touch the senses of those whose lives they touch, and so on and so forth. Without realizing, things change because of us. And thus the good we do finds a way back to us. Nothing beautiful we have achieved has ever happened in splendid isolation. We are plugged into the sensory ether of the universe, and there are waves which carry us up, and it's the infinite grace of our doing which takes us to places which we wouldn't even conceive of reaching. This is Sunil Bhandari, and you are listening to Uncut Poetry. If you enjoyed this poem, rate it on Spotify or leave a comment on Apple Podcast. And I have a lovely newsletter called The Uncuts, which is like a Sunday dollop of warmth and fun and beauty. Subscribe to it. The link is in the show notes. And if you loved this episode, please do share it with someone you love. See you next week.